those of you worried about a Kamala Harris administration, you should know she's more unpopular than Sleepy Joe. In this video, we're going to take a look at the growing panic among Democrats that their backup to bumbling Biden is imploding in the polls. We're going to see the latest Kamala cackle embarrassment. And stick with me to the very end of this video where I'll reveal how and why much of this political disaster was deliberately self-inflicted. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, I am your daily fake news antidote, offering patriotic analysis to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button before we jump into things here. Let me ask you, how many of you suffered from the heat out there, right? The summer's been hit with some record temperatures, and so I'm glad that I've got an awesome device that's here to keep me personally cool. It's called the Arctic Breeze 3-in-1 Air Cooler, and it's a mini air conditioner unit that's small and compact enough to put right on your desk. Got 3 different wind speeds and USB connectivity, so it can be powered by multiple devices. And if you click on that link below right now, for a limited time, they're offering this little gem, 50% off plus free shipping to boot. You heard that right. Half off and free shipping. So don't wait. It is a limited time offer. Click on that link below or go to easysummercool.com and order your personal portable AC unit today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. You know, there's really no other way of saying it here, but things just keep getting worse and worse for the Biden administration. The latest, in many respects, as we'll find out, stick with me to the end of the video, may be the result of deliberate self-inflicting wounds. But as more and more polls and pundits are openly questioning whether Biden is going to finish out his term, the new question is whether Biden's tenure would be handed over to someone who's even more unpopular and even more incompetent than he is. And that is precisely what we are seeing with Kamala. Kamala's polls are imploding. Amid all the speculation whether Biden's finally going to call it quits, new scrutiny is being leveled at Kamala, and it ain't good. According to the latest Rasmussen poll, 55% of likely voters say that Harris is either not qualified or not at all qualified to be president. That's up from 51% a few months back in April. The poll was taken in mid-August, just as the Taliban were finishing up their stunning blitzkrieg, which resulted in the takeover of Kabul. Only 29% think she's qualified to be president. I mean, that's a stunning repudiation of Biden's supposed successor. And this has all been par for the course in the implosion of Kamala, with her poll numbers and what appears to be an absolute freefall. A couple of weeks back, it was reported that Harris was officially the single most unpopular vice president in 2 generations, since the 1970s. 2 recent polls corroborate that Kamala's underwater at 46% approval, with 48% respectively disapproving. And an Economist YouGov poll found that 41% of young voters ages 18 to 29, 41% viewed Harris unfavorably, while only 36% viewed her favorably. And among that original 48% that disapproved of Harris, the vast majority viewed her, quote, very unfavorably. Now, this is a vice president that's not very liked, to say the least. It's no wonder that many are saying that Kamala is perhaps the single worst of the Democrats' growing list of disasters.
And is that a socialist or progressive perspective?
No.
Yes, then the cackle. The Kamala cackle. That, too, was on display recently when asked by a reporter about the dire state for Americans trapped in Afghanistan. Ready for some cringeworthiness? Here you go.
What's your response to reports of Americans?
Hold on. Slow down, everybody. I want to talk about 2 things. First, Afghanistan.
Wow. Let's see that again.
Slow down, everybody.
These are the clowns that make up our permanent political class. Even the insufferable Meghan McCain, who, by the way, Fox News seems to have a love affair with. I don't know what audience data they've got here, but I can't go a week without seeing Meghan McCain on Fox News. You know, one of the most irrelevant political opinions on the planet. She's always exalted on Fox. But regardless, even she is likening the Kamala cackle to the uncontrollable laughter of the Joker. Ben Shapiro calls it her tell, which is a poker term for not being able to keep a straight face when you're handed your cards. And so this, to me, is very key here. It's no wonder that as Biden sinks in the polls, ironically, Harris sinks even further. And this is because as Biden sinks in the polls, what happens? More and more voters realize he's probably not going to finish out his term. Then what happens? Well, that means that more and more voters pay attention to who? Cackling Kamala. And so as Biden's poll numbers plunge, her numbers plunge even further. Now, apparently she seems to know this. She seems to know that the more unpopular Biden becomes, the more she implodes. And that's why she's doing everything she can to hide from Biden in this whole Kabul fallout. Kamala was nowhere to be found last week. She didn't make a public appearance for 5 straight days after the Taliban takeover. When she was seen with Joe at a cabinet meeting, she was masked and hiding in the corner, right? She seems to know that Joe's fall entails her own fall, and she's been doing everything she can to distance herself from him. But alas, it's all for naught. And you know why? Because she cannot distance herself from herself. Kamala can't run away from her own ridiculous inadequacies and ineptitude. And that's especially evident in her attempts to run away from Washington, D.C. I don't know what it is about Kamala and travel, but the two obviously don't go together. She had that disastrous trip to Guatemala. She had a disastrous trip to our southern border. Now her trip to Singapore and Saigon. I mean, keep in mind, this trip was mocked and ridiculed even before she left. With all of the comparisons between the botched troop withdrawal in Kabul with Saigon, of all the places that Harris could go, she chose to go to Vietnam. So once again, we've got another travel disaster for Harris. We have another awkward cackle moment. We have her poll numbers falling even lower than bumbling Biden's. And to make matters even worse, much of this is a self-inflicted wound. In many respects, this Kamala poll plunge is at least in part a self-inflicted wound by the Biden administration. Now, before we get into it, make sure to click on that link below and register for our brand new Conservative Patriot Live virtual event. You don't even have to leave the comfort of your own home. It's September 3rd and 4th, where I and several special guests will teach you to help build a society completely free from all things woke and experience once again the nation that we know and love. Make sure to click on that link below right now to get your tickets, because you can still take advantage of our buy one, get one free deal. It's good up to Wednesday night. If you sign up with any registration package, you're going to get another one for free to send to a friend. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So don't wait. Buy one, get one free. Click on that link below right now and register for our new Conservative Patriot Live event, September 3rd and 4th virtual conference, and get ready to help build a society free from all things woke. You're going to absolutely love it. All right, so what do I mean about much of this being self-inflicted? Well, you'll definitely want to check out a video I did on whether Kamala is leading a 25th Amendment coup against Biden. Because what it does is it lays out the real Game of Thrones tactics that are playing out behind the scenes. In a nutshell, Dick Morris has made the argument that all of this negative press that we're seeing surrounding Harris over the last couple of months, right? You know, that she's not fit to be president, that her staff hates her, that her cabinet is in disarray. All of these stories are being reported by reporters that are all pro-Biden. They've been around in the Washington swamp for as long as he has. They're buddies and the like. So Morris thinks Biden's inner circle is leaking negative stories about Kamala to pro-Biden reporters in order to pull a Spiro Agnew on Kamala Harris. Agnew, of course, was Richard Nixon's vice president, and Nixon believed that as long as he made Agnew look unprepared for the office, as long as he made Agnew look as if he simply wasn't ready to be president, then Nixon was safe from impeachment. And Biden aides appear to be doing something very comparable here. All of the leaks, all the negative leaks about Kamala coming out of the White House are admissions that Biden's people are getting very, very nervous that Kamala's power hungry and that she's ready to invoke the 25th Amendment to get rid of Sleepy Joe. And Biden's people are trying to preempt that by making Kamala look weak and unprepared and frankly unfit for office. But the Achilles heel to this strategy seems to be that they've created a scenario where the more unpopular Joe gets, the more unpopular Kamala becomes. The more Sleepy Joe falls in the polls, the more Kamala implodes in the polls. So the whole Democrat ticket is imploding here. That seems to be the devil's bargain in all this. And so if it does turn out that Biden can't recover politically from this Kabul fallout, it appears that Kamala will find herself on the brink as well, which is obviously not good for the Democrats going into the midterms and the 2024 presidential election. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on how the leftists are so concerned that President Trump is indeed running a shadow government, and I show you precisely why they're right. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.